Hey guys, welcome back to your channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be working on this console for my 2014 Toyota Avalon. This part right here was all melted, and on one of my previous videos when I was working on this, I peeled all that stuff off. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and wrap this with a new vinyl to get it all black and nice again. So stay tuned. So this on the Toyota Avalon is basically the center console where your shifter and your cup holder and everything is. Taking this whole piece out is pretty simple. There's no screws or anything that hold it in. It's all held on by these yellow clips that kind of just slide into place. The hardest part is just kind of getting the shifter here moved back after you take the shift knob off. So all you have to do is just take the cup holder out here, take the shift knob off right here. It's easier if you put it in neutral first. That way you don't have to worry about releasing this. I forgot to do that when I did this. I had to reach my finger down there to pop it out, but I was able to finally get it out. Once you pop that piece out and lift it up, you have to basically take apart the little panel that goes underneath here. On the underside of the radio and the climate control, you pull that panel off. It just pulls down and pops out. And then on the bottom of the thing, you have to unplug the harnesses on the back here. There's one for illumination and then one for the seat warmers on this vehicle. And then on the front side, you have to reach up. You have to get the illumination light right here. In addition, you have to get to the two cigarette lighter plugs right there, or the 12-volt power plugs and the USB plug. After you do that, pretty much everything just pops out and you can just pull the whole unit off. So once we have everything on the bench here, everything else is pretty easy. There's screws on the back side here that kind of hold this whole assembly together. You want to take all that apart so you can actually take everything out. You want to take the two side pieces off separately. You could just wrap those. And then the center piece is on this sliding mechanism, so you're going to have to take it all apart, figure out how to unscrew this thing from the sliding mechanism. That way you could wrap it and then put it all back together. So we'll go ahead and take care of that now. Once we get this piece off, you can put this off to the side because we won't really need to do anything on this side. And on the back side, there's like 8 screws, but you really only need to take 6 out to do the initial part, to take it apart. And the side pieces, that's what holds on the other 2 pieces right there. So those pieces we could do first. This piece right here, the screw, there's screws under here and then screws on the back side. But I think the easiest way from the last time I did this, I think I had to take apart this right here to take this lid off and then slide it up. So you can pop this part out right here and then access some of the screws that we can't get to on the slider. Once you do that, there's one screw that's kind of on this back side here, right in the middle, that you get to just from that spot right here, and that's the last one that holds this thing on. Once we get that out, go pretty much lift this thing out, just slide it out, and then you have everything apart. So now that we got everything taken apart, you could just wrap the new vinyl right over these pieces right now, or you could just peel this off and just wrap it new. I'm gonna probably just leave it on here and just wrap it new and then tuck it all around and get it all back in there, so that way I still leave some of the foam, at least on the middle part here. On the side part is just straight plastic. There's really no foam, but I'm just gonna leave it just to make it easier for myself. So the material I'm using is just this vinyl that I bought on Amazon. I think I paid maybe like 20 bucks for this huge 4-foot by 4-foot sheet of this. If you need this same stuff, I'll link it down in the description, but it's the type that's not got the double-sided tape on it. They do sell self-adhesive type, but I just picked this up because I'm just gonna use some 3M adhesive to adhere it on here. So I'll go ahead and measure this out, just cut a little rectangle out of this corner, and then just fit all my pieces onto it. So for the adhesive, I'm using this 3M90 right here. This is some high strength stuff that I've had the same bottle for literally 20 something years, back into my Honda days when I was doing systems and boxes and doing the carpet onto those boxes. It's just funny, this has been in my cabinet and in my tools for that long, and I've had it all this time, just using it a little bit at a time, but it's held pretty strong and it still works even after 20 something years. This is amazing stuff here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and just spray this whole thing up, lay this thing onto there, and then roll it flat until it adheres to all the flat edges. Once I get it to adhere to all these edges, all these little turns and twists and corners and everything, I'm going to just roll it over and just trim it to fit. The adhesive, sometimes you just gotta spray it on, let it sit for a second, let it dry a little bit before you tuck it over so it actually sticks. The stuff that I put over here on the top part, since it's kind of on like a foam, it's not holding very well, so I'm just hoping that it doesn't come loose too soon. But again, this thing gets tucked around and kind of wrapped around anyways once it goes up in there, so it should hold, with especially with the screws kind of holding it. But once you get this, you could go ahead and just start trimming it to fit. Remember just to leave enough to wrap around the edges. After messing around with this for a while, finally got everything buttoned up and wrapped tight. You see the side pieces came out pretty good. All the little corners you gotta be really careful with, it bundles up a lot. But a lot of this gets wedged and tucked under anyway, so you don't really see it. But hopefully this thing holds. The center console ended up turning out pretty good. I didn't have to go ahead and take out foam or anything. I wrapped all the edges. It's a little bit messy around the corners and stuff, but this little edge right here actually has this piece that kind of tucks in and cleans up and covers a lot of this space. It's just around this edge, which again tucks on that plastic, so hopefully it hides most of it once we get it on the thing. So go ahead and attach it back on. So what you want to do is this piece tucks under here, and the back side of it actually fits right there in that hole. So the easiest way is to kind of get it into here, get the tabs tucked in the back side. Once you get it tucked in around the corners and the edge here, you want to go ahead and put this around. Once you line up that hole, you go ahead and just get that first screw back on the back side here. This one's a little bit hard to see, but once you feel around, you can see the hole. Go ahead and fix those edges. this right here, you could use a little tuck tool. I should have left more slack on these edges so I could tuck a little better, but I was thinking this was going to be tucking a little bit better on these edges, so we'll just go ahead and get as much into there as possible. We get it far enough where when you screw it down, it holds it all and hides a lot of these little seams and edges. Yeah, around these corners, could have left a little bit more slack. Alright, there we got the first piece. A lot of this I'm gonna have to clean up with a little bit of vinyl cleaner just to get all the stuff off, but it looks pretty good. So next thing I want to do is I want to put these pieces onto the side here. So each one of your pieces has a side, and then there are little tabs right here that the leather kind of overwraps. I had to cut a hole in it, but you just basically find those two tabs, line them up, and just slide them in. And it should tuck right between that chrome piece right there for the most part. And then you do the same on this other side, kind of line it up, find the slot. Once we line everything up in there, we'll get the whole thing back lined up into here. Luckily all the pegs line up perfectly, and then start getting the other screws back on like this. Overall, this thing came out, I'd say a 7 out of 10. Everything looks good. This thing actually matches the rest of this vinyl and this plastic pretty well. So that looks pretty good. Sure beats that sticky rubber and that peeling crap that was here before. Now I actually can touch this stuff without getting my hands all sticky, so this looks nice. All right, we got this baby back in, all plugged up. Don't forget to put all the harnesses, especially the ones back here, all the ones under there, the one under here, but it all goes back together. Looks pretty good. When it comes down, you can't see most of those edges that were kind of suspect because they're kind of hidden and tucked away back here. When you open it up, it hides most of it. All you see is kind of the side. So this turned out pretty dang good for the most part. Very cheap fix for this very cheap vinyl and fake leather that they used before, but everything looks good now. Hey guys, thanks for joining me all the way to in this quick video on doing that reupholstering of that little piece that was melted. As you can see, it's a pretty simple process. You guys gotta be patient, kind of wrap it, wait for the glue to dry and everything. But it's something that needs to be done on this Avalon. If you guys haven't seen my previous videos where I changed the armrest, I changed the door panel insert and a few of the other things just to fix all this defective and cheap materials that they used on the Avalon, go ahead and check out those videos. I'll have a few links at the end of the description, or you just check out the playlist for them. It's a bunch of things that you can fix all the little annoying things on your Avalon with. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to your channel, go ahead and subscribe to your channel, turn on bell notifications, get notified every time I upload a video. For all these different projects, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.